Millwall Fan Show is sponsored by family business G&M Motors of Gravesend and Meopham in Kent. They are Millwall fans too. They've been Honda dealers for over 50 years. At G&M Motors Gravesend, you can purchase a new Honda. At both Gravesend and Meopham, they have a combined range of over 150 quality used cars and ex-demonstrators to suit all budgets and lifestyles. They also offer a comprehensive range of repair and maintenance services to ensure your vehicle stays reliable, safe, and retains a higher value with trust. G&M Motors, Gravesend and Meopham are dear friends of the Julians family. From Lenny to Debbie, and also our Millwall Fan Show.
Hey, I'm Jade Keogh.
And hello from me too, I'm Grace Seeley.
We both play for the Millwall Lionesses and are sponsored by the No One Likes Us Talking team.
Why not sponsor one of our teammates just like they do?
To find out how, just email
kwebster@millwallcommunity.org.uk.
I'll say that again.
kwebster@millwallcommunity.org.uk.
In your email, say who you want to sponsor and we'll get back to you with the sponsorship details and what to do next.
This is all you have to do and it will help us to get back to where we belong. Thank you guys.
Now, enjoy our Millwall Fan Show from No One Likes Us Talking team.
Come on, Mir.
Hi, Bethany Warren here, and you've joined us for the weekly Our Millwall Fan Show with the Millwall No One Likes Us Talking team, which is broadcast every Friday evening. Enjoy!
Welcome to the 2022-23 series of Millwall No One Likes Us Talking, our Millwall Fan Show. I'm your host, Gary Staff, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Dave Hart. Hi, Dave.
Evening.
Hi, Stan Godwin. Hi, Stan.
All right, Gal?
Yeah, good, mate. And Debbie Julians. Hello, Debbie.
Hi, Gary.
So, 4 out of 4. Not been known, has it, in recent times? I'll go to you, Stan, first on that one.
Yeah, well, no, four out of 4 wins is something to be treasured, and then hopefully we can make it 5 out of 5 come the end of this week. But no, I mean, so far it's all looking good. I mean, he changed the system, didn't he, from a 3-5-2 to a 4-3-2-1, and we look a lot solid. And also, I also think that one of the other reasons is because, you know, the newer players, they're now beginning to settle in and find their rhythm. I mean, I think old Volksam, I mean, I've watched him Saturday. I mean, I thought he was exceptional. I mean, I do. I rate the bloke. And obviously the Bermondsey Bergkamp, I mean, that goes without saying. But no, I think everything looking good at the moment. I'll
say something. Everyone thought, he was a bit quiet on Saturday. I've watched the whole 90 minutes back because I do that now. Because if you've got a $4.99 membership on the website, you can watch the whole game back. And Zian Fleming was absolutely outstanding. He had about 3 or 4 gilt-edged chances, which their keeper pulled off 3 or 4 really good saves for him as well. And everyone said he was quiet, didn't do this, played a game too. No, he actually played really well. And I think Rowett taking him off just before the end was probably the best thing for him. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, what Stan said is exactly right. I also like to say that Billy Mitchell was certainly improved tremendously. I mean, he had a great game on Saturday. Mm-hmm. And the work that Vogelsteiner, he puts in, as you said, is you just don't appreciate it at the time. But as you say, if you watch it back, you do see that he had a hand in quite a lot of moves and had a few opportunities himself. And it's playing 4 at the back. I know we lost Hutch, but Creswell came in, and I think he did another good job.
Can't disagree. And you, Debbie?
Yeah, totally agree with you there, Dave. Creswell came in. I mean, he's on loan from Leeds, isn't he? And he's a current under-21 England player. Actually, is in the team, so he did well. And Sean Hutchinson, it's a shame the injury, and I shouldn't think he'll be coming back until after the World Cup. He played well, and Tyler Brewer came on and scored the winning goal at the 89th minute. It's they're a good team. They've really gelled well, as you were saying, Stan. And that wasn't really an easy game. They may be bottom of the league, but they or low in the league, but they are definitely a good team. And we did well. I mean, Gary Rowett has actually said that it's one of the most competitive squads he's had as a Millwall boss. And and of course, our Fleming, what a star.
I'll say something as well. Did anyone notice what Gary Rowett did at the end of the game on Saturday?
Came out and applauded the fans.
Yeah, and came and shook everyone's hand on the pitch as well. He's never done that at home.
No.
Yeah. So
should try that more often, shouldn't they?
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. So, right, well, we'll take a break there and hear about the fans' matchday programme.
Hi, Bethany here. Want a matchday programme? You'll find them with sellers outside the ground by the gates at Zampa Road, Stockholm Road and Senegal Road. They cost £1 and the sellers ask if you can have the right money, as change will be difficult. If you want to get a message, photos of special events, memorials or just ones for good luck to be included, email smprogram@protonmail.com. That is smprogramme@protonmail.com. It's a great read.
I'm your host, Gary Staff, and with me I have the No One Likes a Talking team of Dave Hart, Stan Godwin and Debbie Julians. Our next guest is well known to our regulars in the Executive Lounge. He was born in Lewisham in London and started his football career with Arsenal before moving on to the Lions, where he played a limited number of times for the Lions. After he played for us, he moved on to Bradford City, Airdrieonians and Dulwich Hamlet. Welcome to the show, the wonderful Wesley Reid. Welcome, Wes.
Thank you, Gary. Very kind. Hello, everyone.
All right, mate.
Hi.
Hi,
Stan. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Wes, great to have you on the show again. I mentioned in that intro that your appearance for the Lions was limited, and personally, I thought it was more. It felt like more, and I don't know, but I was shocked when I found out it was so few. What was that all about, Wes? Why was it limited?
Well, I think I arrived in '87, and there had just been the revolution. Doc had started buying a few players, so I think I arrived the same day as George Lawrence, Cass, and over the next few months a few more. But unbeknown to me at the time, I'd had quite a bad knee injury that I'd picked up when I was at Arsenal, and over the next couple of years it just dogged me. I'd be fit, I'd break down, I'd be fit and I'd break down. But also in conjunction with that, there was Les and Terry Urlock playing so well.
It doesn't help, does it, when they've got those two in the middle?
Exactly.
Yeah. Dave, what's your question for Wes?
Oh, evening, Wes.
Hi, Dave.
Great to see you want to go up the Exec Lounge. But
you.
I have to start off tonight with a question about that infamous First Division team.
Yep.
What was it like to be part of that group of players?
It was, for want of another word, it was extraordinary. Because even though I'm from Peckham and I grew up, so I used to travel as a kid from Peckham to Highbury, and obviously I knew people at Millwall. I knew Darren Morgan, I knew Brian Orne, I knew Sean Sparham, I knew Steve Antrobus. I played football as a young kid against them, but I'd never really known much about Millwall, even though I lived local. So when I joined and we finally got promoted, I sort of started to understand how much of a special club it was. And to see people that I've known all my life break down and cry, to see us in Division 1, now in the Premiership, and the effect it had on people, it just lifted the whole area for those 2 years.
Yeah, it certainly did. And I can remember how I felt when we actually clinched it. It was one of those moments that you just don't forget.
Exactly.
All right, where's it Stan here, mate?
Hi, Stan. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Good.
How did you actually come to join Millwall? And at the end of the time, how did your move to Bradford come about, mate?
I came to join. I'd been at Arsenal prior to that for about 10 years. So I signed. I was doing schoolboy at Arsenal when I was about 8 or 9. So I went there in 78, 79, and I'd been doing really, really well. And as we know, George took over in about 85. And I got on relatively well with George. I was still quite a young lad, so I didn't really have much dealing with him. My manager at the time was Pat Rice. And as we know, George was quite an authoritarian. He was quite strict. And the climate in South London had changed at the time. They would bring the Brixton riots and a few other things going on. And basically, to cut a long story short, George called me in one day and he said, look, I think it'd be better for you if you moved from Peckham and lived in digs over in Holloway. Now, I was a bit shocked because as far as I knew about digs, it was for people who had come from quite far away. People, young kids would come from north, etc., and come down. And I so much wanted to play for Arsenal and be a footballer that I decided that I would do it. Now, my mum hadn't been very well for quite a few years prior to this. So it was with a heavy heart I did it. And a friend of mine, Kate Hoey, who went on to be an MP, etc., she helped me find some digs. And basically, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't leave my mum. I just thought, you know what, as much as I wanted what I wanted, there was nothing in the world that was more important than my mum. So I came home and I knew George would find out. And a few days later, he called me in and he gave me his famous speech. It was, you either do it my way or don't do it anyway. And I just said, George, I can't leave my mum for you. I'm not going to do it. He shook my hand, and later on that afternoon, my contract was cancelled by Arsenal. Bob Pearson rang me up, and about an hour later after that, I signed for Millwall.
Wow.
Wow, that is a wow there, Wesley. Hi, Wesley, it's Debbie here.
Hi, Debbie, how are you?
Hi. Yeah, good. Lovely to speak to you.
Likewise.
Phil Coleman just wanted to say hello. And
brilliant.
thinks you're a top bloke.
Thank you.
I let that one in. Gary mentioned you are the main host in the exec lounge. How did that come about, Wesley?
I can't remember exactly how long ago. Might have been about 5-6 years ago. Jimmy Carter was doing it, and Jimmy needed some help. And one of the things that he needed was a bit of stability. He needed someone who could turn up on a regular basis and be there. And as I mentioned before, I still live relatively local. So I said to Jim, you know, I'll fill in for a while you need help and you find someone, because I assumed he would find someone later on down the line. And he eventually left himself and moved on to Pastures News, but I just carried on and stayed and have been there ever since.
And we're very pleased you're there, by the way.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I do enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. I enjoy being in the lounge. I really do.
Yeah, it's great.
Thing is, though, Wes, it feels like Billy Mitchell's there every week now with you. You might as well start pick on someone else.
Yeah, do you know what? The thing is, it's one of them. We can all watch the same game, and we'll all see a different man of the match, literally. You know, and I do respect the VIPs, the guests that come in, because you know they watch the game and they're really enthusiastic and they have the chance to vote, and it's quite passionate. They vote for who they believe is man of the match, and I always look at it and think, if 150 people are voting you as what they consider the best player of the day, then you know we always go with that and respect that.
Yeah.
Just going back to that time we spent in the top flight, Wes.
Yep.
Did you realise at the time that Teddy Sheringham would go on to have such an illustrious career as a footballer?
Definitely. As mentioned, I'd spent quite a bit of while being injured. So basically, as you're injured, you go in for treatment. You'd meet Peter Melville, who was a physio at the time, And then once you've done your treatment, I would always go out and watch the lads train. I always made a habit of, I would go and watch them just to still feel and be part of the group. And I'd grown up at Arsenal, so everyone in the Arsenal first team at the time was an international, from your Graham Ricks, your Kenny Sampson, Pat Jennings, David O'Leary, Tony Woodcock. So I was used to seeing quality players, and watching Teddy play, he instantly stood out as a quality player. And so did Cass and people like Terry Urlock. So that was not one bit of a surprise to see Teddy move on to pastures new and much higher.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, though, Wes.
Yeah.
One of the players that in that team that stood out for me, and I'd seen him play before for QPR when he first made it there, was Ian Dawes. I mean,
Yeah.
He's got. I said to him once, he's one of the best defenders, in my opinion, that Millwall ever had. And the reason I say that is because everything he did, it was just simple. I mean, he never made it complicated. You know, he didn't think he was Roberto Carlos legging it down the wing, none of that lot. But everything he done, it was just simple. But he, you know, and even when it was difficult, it looked simple, if you know what I mean. But that's always the thing that stuck out me with him, Dorsey. Like that, he was just a quality player, in my opinion. It was a shame injury cut his career a bit short, wasn't it? But there we are.
Completely agree with you, Stan. If you go back, I know Dorsey quite well. Still speak to him, and funny enough, I work as a teacher, and I actually went to work at a school where Dorsey had worked previous to me, so I get on quite well with him. The thing with Dorsey was he was very, very, very consistent. He was very consistent before he came to Millwall. I think he held the record at QPR for the most consecutive appearances. I think he didn't miss a game in something like 3.5, 4 years, something ridiculous at QPR. He played left back.
I remember seeing him, and I think it was about his second game, right, for QPR. And the thing that struck me with him, he looked as if he played there for years.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? He just looked a natural.
He was, and you're not made even better, Stan. He was a left footer playing left back, but he was actually right-footed, Dorsey. He was actually right-footed, and he played left back, and you'd never realise that he was predominantly right-footed. Great lad, really great player as well, like you said. And if it wasn't for you, Kenny Sampsons and others, he would have played much, much more for England at the time.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that at all, mate. Wouldn't doubt that at all.
Wesley, what was John Docherty like as a manager?
Doc was brilliant. I loved Doc. Rather ignorantly of me, I didn't really know much about Doc's previous football career. Not until long time after. I knew he played for Brentford and a couple of other teams, Sheffield United. But as a manager, Doc was your archetypal, just let the lads get on with it. He'd give Frank a framework as to how we were going to play. And obviously at the time with the players we had, Cass and Teddy up front, it was get the ball quickly forward or get it to Jimmy or Paul Stevenson wide, get the crosses in. But Doc was, and still is, a lovely man. Don't have a bad word to say about him. Very caring, very nurturing. And, he was one of them where he knew my mum's name. It was just thing he would remember your mum's name. Or if you brought a friend along, he'd remember your friend's name. He was a typical father figure for a lot of us, and I think he used that to instill in us that we're a family here. Lots of things will happen outside, but within the football club, we're a family and we do everything to the best of our ability for each other, for the club.
Yeah, so true, so true.
Beautiful.
So, we had the highs and the lows. The relegation after the second season, Wes.
Yeah.
What do you think happened which to make us have such a bad run in that second year?
I can hypothesize about what it was or what it could have been. I mean, I was there at the time, so I watched it. I honestly, I just think it was the second season syndrome. I just think you have that euphoria of going up and you're quite new. teams don't exactly know how you played, and it's not as if teams had watched us previously before that. It was just we got promoted, we played our style, and the second season, I just think the 4-4-2 that we played became nullified very quickly, very easily. And once you don't have a plan B, C, D, etc., and plan A isn't working, then you're in a bit of trouble. And I think plan A wasn't working for us as much as we tried, and it just resulted in a massive lack of victories, even draws, and mostly ended up in being losses. And if you're losing a lot of games in the Premier, the chances are very high that you're going to go down. And unfortunately, that's what happened to us.
You say something about a plan B, Wes.
Yeah.
I was actually going to ask this question slightly differently before you said that. But
okay.
What are the comparisons now? Because we have had a plan B and it's worked.
Yeah.
What are your comparisons with a team today then? Is there any standout players that you think he could do it, But there's the comparison. Back then in that second season, we didn't have a plan B, but we had players that are going on like Sheringham. I think Cascarino had gone by then. He maybe had gone to Villa and had a few others, and we'd obviously got Goddard in and stuff like that. But what do you think happened? What do you think is a good comparison today that we was able to change, and who would stand out today in today's team?
It's difficult to say because I can't remember exactly when Doc left, but I think Doc left and Bob Pearson took over for a while, then Bruce Rioch. Doc had always played very direct football. He had always played that way. And that's what got him promoted. And I feel that he thought if you stuck with it, it would eventually come good. Unfortunately, like you mentioned, people like Teddy, Cass and that who had not long after that left were the mainstays of our team. So once they decided that they were going to move on, it just became difficult to fill it. And the other part of your question about now, it's hard to say. I think it's a really difficult question to answer because when I watch us now, I think that Gary plays a bit of his 4-4-2 is quite rigid as well, but I think we've got some good players who can work around that rigidness. And at the moment, like the 4 games we've won lately, you've seen that even though we're playing a certain style of football, the quality that we've got is shining much, much brighter than when we were back in that Division 1 and we were getting beat. We just couldn't do enough individually to get us those victories that we needed.
Yeah, Wes, I mean, I remember once we had Les Briley on the show.
Yeah.
And he was asked the same sort of question about why did we fade away in the second season. Now,
yeah,
his view was, I mean, it's not too dissimilar to what you're saying, but his view was the fact that he took the view that, you know, the likes of Cascarino and them were going, and we wasn't replacing the players that were being brought in wasn't of the same quality, or that was one reason. That was his view, and it's interesting because when you mention about Paul Goddard, I mean, I remember reading an interview with Paul Goddard when we signed old Bradshaw, because at the time we signed him, he was the record fee for a forward since Paul Goddard,
$800,000.
Yeah, and Paul Goddard said when when I come to Millwall, he said I was told by John Dockey that he was going to change the style.
Yep.
Because it was all lump it down and thing and whatever, and he was going to play it on the ground, right? And Goddard said, "Oh, that's fine because that's my game." And then he said what happened? He said, "I got there, and within 2 weeks of me getting there, he said he got the sack, and then we just stayed the system that they was sticking to, which was this 4-4-2." You know, but at the time, although I have to say this, right, is when I look at these sets up on a Saturday, the different formations. I mean, in 72 league clubs, you're lucky if you get half a dozen, possibly 8 or 9, play 4-4-2. And I remember Bradshaw saying in an interview once, he was asked about it, and he turned around and said, this was about 18 months ago, he turned around and said, 4-4-2's hardly played now. Yeah.
Well, Stan, Liverpool played it on Saturday. Look what happened there.
Yeah, but then they've got the quality players. But the point I'm making is right, and the point that Bradshaw was making is that when Wes is talking about 4-4-2 was the norm. It ain't the norm today. That's all I'm saying.
No.
And that is a fact. I mean, it may not be what some people want to hear, but it's a fact.
No, indeed. Right. Well, on that moment, great to speak to you, Wes. It's been an absolute pleasure. What do you think?
Thanks, Gary.
How do you think we're going to get on the weekend, by the way, against Huddersfield?
I got to say this. I just think momentum's with us at the moment. It's easy to get Google-eyed that you win 4 in a row and you think you're invincible. But I do think momentum's with us, and there's a certain belief at the moment that we are a hard team to beat, and I do think we will go there and we will win.
I can't disagree. Wes, absolute pleasure. Look forward to seeing you up again in the exec lounge. And if you remember, Wes, we played over at Knowlmead a couple of years ago. I think you're a friend of Nigel's. He came over at Worcester Parkway. So maybe you can come back over. And I don't play for him much anymore, but if I find out you're back, I'll come over and watch one day.
Fantastic. That's really kind of you, Gary. I appreciate that.
Take care,
Stan,
my friend.
Dave, Debbie, thanks very much. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, pleasure's ours. Bye-bye.
You take care.
Thanks a lot, Wes.
Cheers, Wes.
You're more than welcome anytime.
Cheers.
Thank you.
We'll take a break there and listen to Debbie Julians and Harvey Brown talking about the Lions Food Hub.
Let's hear from Harvey Brown.
Have you heard of the Lions Food Hub? That Millwall lioness, Kelly Webster, is involved. Don't forget to help the Lions Food Hub if you can. Thank you.
As Harvey said, they need your support. If you can help, and you can make a one-off or a regular monetary donation at Banquet, that is BANKUET. You will find them online. Insert www.banquet.co.uk/Lions Food Hub into your browser. I'll say that again. www.banquet.co.uk/Lions Food Hub. And the Lions Food Hub is all one word. On match days, you can make food and toiletry donations at the Lions Food Hub, which is opposite the 1885 bar at the Cold Blow Lane end of the ground. Alternatively, you can also contact the team via the Lions Food Hub Twitter or Facebook sites.
I'm your host, Gary Staff, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Dave Hart, Stan Godwin and Debbie Julians. Energy and food poverty is rising beyond our wildest dreams from 12 months ago and will not decrease but probably increase again. However, your kindness will be much appreciated and lessen the burden on the many families at risk from this. Let's hear from Ellis Barr, who we love to see in her videos. Keep up the great work, Ellis.
Ellis here. Thank you for watching my videos. Now to hear what the Millwall Lionesses and Romans have been up to, and to hear who is next up for Gary Rowett and the Lions. Come on, Millwall!
First up, Eamon caught up with the Millwall Romans and Pride General Manager, Paul Lodin.
Eamon here, and I caught up with Paul Lodin, the General Manager of Millwall Romans and Pride, and asked him what's been going on since we spoke last week.
Starting with last Wednesday, we came down to the Den to celebrate Rainbow Laces, to watch the Watford game, and what a game it was. Very, very pleased to all be there. Great first half performance from Millwall, and great to watch Bradshaw get his hat-trick. Sunday, the Romans team travelled again over to West London, playing a lot of games away at the moment on a grass pitch over at Barnes Elms. It was a little bit dodgy with the weather in the morning, but we still managed to play the game. We started okay. We went 1-0 up and then 2-0 up, and then conceded a goal just before half-time from a defensive mistake. I'll mention no names who the mistake was. But we sort of went in feeling quite confident and just felt we needed to do what we do generally and just carry on playing the way we were playing. There was nothing wrong. It was just that one mistake. The second half just seemed to go really well for us, and we ended up finishing the game 6-1. I could talk about the other 5 goals, but I'll mention the goals that were scored by myself. The ball came over from a corner. The keeper managed to catch it. I was on the edge of the box. He then threw the ball out in a very dodgy manner, and it went very high in the air. I managed to bring it down and just chipped it over the top of him to... I think that was goal number 5 in the end. But I could talk about the others, but I think that's the most important one.
Well, that sounds good, Paul, but what's coming up next for you guys?
This weekend, it's a break for both teams again. We do have a team that's entered into a Lake Norient tournament on Sunday over at Brisbane Road. So we're going to play that. It's only a 5-a-side tournament, again, in celebration of Rainbow Laces. And then the following week, both teams are then back in action. We're playing at home and Pride will be playing away.
Well, it's Rainbow Laces all the way, even including a 5-a-side tournament, so that's great stuff. But how about a prediction for Huddersfield Town versus the Lions this weekend, Paul?
Millwall obviously had some good results recently, so we were lucky enough to attend the Watford game. Away to Huddersfield bottom of the table. I'm gonna say we've got some goals in us. I'm gonna say it's going to be 4-0 Millwall.
Paul's confident there with a 4-0 victory for the Lions. Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But I like his confidence. Bye for now.
Thanks, Eamon and Paul. Keep up the good work. Jeff has also been out and about with the Lionesses and filed another report on them.
This is Jeff Burnage at Millwall Lionesses. The Lionesses stormed to the first round proper of the FA Women's Cup with a 7-0 victory over Long Grendon on Sunday at their home ground at St Paul's Sports Ground in Rotherhithe. 4 of the goals were scored by midfielder Maisie Joyce. Millwall were quickly on top and had already hit the bar when in the 16th minute Angel Reid set up Joyce for her first. She bagged a second in a goalmouth scramble before Otisha Charles scored a typical worldie with a left foot screamer into the top corner. It was Charles herself who made it 4 by half time. Straight after the interval, Joyce continued to thrill the home crowd with 2 goals, the first completing a hat-trick and then adding a 4th from 2 Jade Keogh corners. Keogh herself scored the 7th with a curling 35-yard free kick, and the Lionesses were able to use their 3 substitutions thereafter. They will now be looking forward to Aylesford away in the league next Sunday, but will also have an eye on the FA Women's Cup draw, which we should know very soon.
We'll take a break there and hear from what Fantastic Fanatics can do with a little bit of help from ourselves.
Hi, I'm Richard Gordon, and I'd like to invite you to become a Fantastic Fanatic. Fantastic Fanatics is a great way to raise funds for your sports club. Sign up today, find your club, and securely register your everyday debit and credit cards. Every time you spend with our retail partners, they pay a percentage back to your club. It costs you nothing, and you can win cash prizes along the way. Visit fantasticfanatics.com and help your club be the best it can be.
I'm your host, Gary Staff, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Dave Hart, Stan Godwin and Debbie Julians. With a mere 59 days away, why not spend on presents through the Fantastic Fanatic site and give a bonus to the Millwall Community Trust? It will help them deliver such activity as school holiday camps and walking football for the over 50s. Their latest offering, if you're aged between 16 to 24 and currently out of education or unemployed, you can join the Millwall's Second Chance Academy. The programme allows footballers and those wishing to work in the professional football industry to come in to learn with Millwall and coach like professionals whilst also being educated. Our next guest up is a huge Millwall fan and a massive friend of the show. Our Eamon caught up with them recently at the Millwall Community Centre.
Well, here I am approaching the den where white Tintoretto clouds hang over the away stand of the club. And diminutised next door is a building that hasn't got a diminutive reputation. It's the home of the Millwall Community Trust, a team that does so much in Lewisham, Southwark and these days in Sevenoaks too. And I'm here to see an important person as I approach the fenestrated building, or the one that's got lots of windows on the front of it, known as the Lions Centre, the home of the Millwall Community Trust. Well, I've ventured upstairs to what appears to be Harvey's Den Cafe. Well, what an inspiration that is. And I've popped my head round the door and look who's there. Harvey himself, Dean, Ellen Webster, Vicky, blimey, the star of tonight's show on the panel, Stan Godwin. What a group of people. Dean, lovely to see you, mate.
And you, Raymond.
And congratulations on bringing this venture forward here at the Millwall Community Trust. What made it happen?
Well, we got a phone call from Ellen Webster.
Oh, that was handy.
Yeah, and she said that they're looking for someone. Do we know anyone that want to take on the CAF? And we said, yeah, we'd love to.
And that was how it just started up. Bang, wallop, go. And what about Sean Daly? Did he?
Yeah, well, it was Sean Daly that asked Ellen.
Oh, right.
Yeah. We need someone in the CAF to get it open again. Does she know anybody? So she rang us. And I said, yeah, love to.
Obviously, a woman that you need to know to get the contacts that you want to get to.
Definitely. And we've sold so much bacon as well since she's been coming.
So much bacon? Yeah. I can see that because she's just munched through a total.
Yeah, and she's on a diet.
Really?
Yeah.
God, blimey. What do you say about that, Helen? You can laugh. We don't mind.
I've just finished my sandwich. I must say it's a delicious sandwich as well.
That's good. And you commend people to come here and enjoy what's on offer.
Absolutely. It saves us cooking most days.
That can't be bad,
but no, do come and show, because it's a lovely, friendly place to sit, chat, don't we, Vic? We do. And enjoy the nice food and cappuccinos.
Cappuccinos as well?
Cappuccinos as well.
What have you had, Stan?
Coffee.
I've got a coffee, a normal, straightforward coffee.
A normal, straightforward coffee. I'm having a black tea. What about you, Dave?
I've got a white tea and I've left my tea bag in.
And what about you, Harvey? What did you have?
Milk and biscuits.
Well, why not? Why not? Why not? What's your hopes, Dean, for the cafe?
Yeah, just hopefully loads of fans start coming up before, because we're going to do it match days, every Saturday, match day.
What time will that start?
That's 11 till 2.
Lovely.
Yeah, full English breakfast, paninis, bacon rolls, sausage rolls, you name it.
It's all happening here.
It is.
And is that with your fair hands, or is that Vicky at the...
Vicky's helping.
Yeah, oh well, of course.
Yeah, Vicky's helping. It's my cooking. Vicky just, she sweeps the floors and
smiles
at the customers.
Yeah.
And throws lettuces.
He's dreaming.
Yeah, you're going to get one shortly. I can feel it. I can feel it. Harvey, tell me, what do you think about this cafe being named after you?
Amazing.
Amazing. And I see on the seats we've got these shirts. What's that all about?
I don't know, it's my mum's idea. Not me.
Your mum's idea. We'll have to get Vicky over to explain that then.
It's actually your brother's idea.
It wasn't my idea, it was your big brother's idea.
It's your brother's idea.
Oh.
But you said you agreed to it, so you have to come over here and do it.
Come on, Vicky, tell us about it. Come on. Don't hang about in the background. Don't be a fading, willowing heart over there.
It was my eldest son came up with the idea, because obviously the chairs, they do look tatty.
Yeah.
So we were trying to think of a way of recovering them. So we bought the vinyl for the bottom parts, and then my eldest son came up with the idea of asking people to donate old shirts, and we cover the backs with old shirts, and that's what we've started doing.
What a great idea. Yeah. Hey, we'll have to get him on the Millwall Innovation Group. He might be able to think of a few other things that we can do.
He is quite creative.
Yeah,
he is very creative.
Yeah. Hey, can't be bad. Well, I'm gonna hand over to Stan there, because He's the man that knows the ins and outs of the tactics, the play, and everything else that goes on at Millwall FC. Stan.
If I was ever loaded, that was it. Right.
Yeah.
How do you think that we've been doing so far?
I think we've definitely changed. Since he's changed to a back four, we look at a different team. Confident, Cooper, he just didn't look confident in the back five. He's confident again. We just seen a different team since we've gone to the back four.
I mean, it struck me. I mean, I've heard that said a lot, right? And I don't disagree with it. But the only problem with it, I can remember last season at times, for large parts of last season, we was going. It looked like a back five, but it was a 3-5-2, and all that.
Yeah.
And somehow it always worked out that the two wing backs was always up at the back rather than where they should have been. Like, But no, I mean, there's no doubt the system, but also apart from the system changing, I also think now that the players, like Volkshammer and Fleming and all, they're now beginning to find their feet.
Yeah, definitely.
And we're looking good.
Yeah, they're gelled as a team now, aren't they? They're playing as a team now. It's like it just seemed like there's some individuals that was just, but yeah, we're definitely playing. I think Hutch made a difference coming back. He does seem to, hold that back defence, and so I think he made a difference coming back.
I mean, it's going to be interesting now because you would have seen it when I did last Saturday, when right towards the end of the first half, didn't he? It was a sort of an innocuous challenge, and he went down, didn't he? And straight away you could see that he wasn't right.
No.
I don't know what it is with this club, but we just seem to be unlucky with injuries. We get one bloke back, and then you think, right, that's it. And then about 3 weeks later, something else happens and he's out.
Yeah. No, we have been unlucky.
I just don't know what it is.
Yeah. No, it's strange.
What's your tip for where the Lions are going to finish this season, Dean?
Hopefully, playoffs.
Good.
Yeah, hopefully.
Anyone else got any ideas where they think the Lions might finish this season?
Top.
And that... Well, that was a third. Okay, right. Top and third. We'll go for that. All right, then. We'll live with that. We'll have some more of that. And, of course, Dean, you mentioned that it's open on match days between 11 and 2. Yeah. But you're open today as well.
Yeah. So we're open every day, Monday to Friday, and Monday to Saturday match days. Everyone's welcome. Yeah, because a lot of people don't even know. Some people don't know this place is here.
No.
Some knew it was here but didn't know it was open to the public. They just thought it's for the staff of Millwall community. So it's about getting it out there and letting people know we're here.
Yeah, that certainly come out of that event that we held here with Sir Gianluca Sardi when he spoke about what the club does. And Dean Wilson stood up and said, well, I never knew all these things happen. That message needs to get out there. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Definitely.
So, prediction, Huddersfield v Millwall?
I'd like to say 2-1 Millwall.
How about you, Harvey? What do you reckon?
3-0 Millwall.
3-0 Millwall. I can tell you someone's gone one better than that, but you'll have to listen to the show to find out who it is. All right?
Yep.
What are you going to say to all the fans?
Come on, you Lions.
Good on you. Well, that's me, Stan, Harvey, Dean, Vicky, Ellen and others, all here at the Millwall Community Trust. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Eamon, and brilliant work, Dean. Keep up everything you're doing over at the Millwall Community Centre there and the Harvey Cafe. As we've said heard on there, it will be open 11 till 2 on match days. So get yourself down there for a sandwich before the game. We'll take a break there and listen to Bethany Warren talking about how to support the Millwall Community Trust.
The work of the Millwall Community Trust makes a big difference for people in Lewisham, Southwark and North Kent. Times are getting tougher, and to help them make a difference, you can help too, by making a donation. Give a one-off donation or a monthly amount. Your support is crucial in raising vital funds for their work, or by fundraising for them. If you are running, swimming, cycling, cooking, dancing, parachuting or anything else, why not do it for the Millwall Community Trust? Interested? Then either email inquiries@millwallcommunity.org.uk or phone 0207 740 0503. I'll say that again. Email inquiries@millwallcommunity.org.uk or phone 0207 740 0503. Thanks if you can.
I'm your host, Gary Staff, and with me I've the No One Likes Us Talking team of Dave Hart, Stan Godwin and Derry Julians. The work our trust does is second to none, and if you can make a donation, it will go a long way to help others in our community. We are all looking forward to our next game against Huddersfield, but in the meantime, here are a few matters of interest for Millwall fans. First off, what about sponsoring a player? Enjoying a great executive lounge VIP package with family or friends, or just getting behind the club in a number of different ways, and that includes business propositions from advertising to sponsorship. Just contact the helpful team of Andrew Stead, Edgar or Lucy in the commercial department to find out more. Next week, Eamon returns to host the show on Friday at 8 p.m. There will be a review of our game and a couple of guests too. Don't miss it. Additionally, you can be at the Den on this Remembrance Day to watch the World of Rugby v World of Football. This year, the Battle of the Balls makes its debut appearance at the Den, where ex-international rugby players take on ex-professional footballers and celebrity guests on Remembrance Day, the 11th of November 2022, to honour and raise funds for our military servicemen and women and support youth in sport in particular. Managed by All-Stars former Lion Mick McCarthy and Harry Redknapp, there is a plethora of well-known international and ex-professional footballers, including former Lion Justin Fashanu, rugby players and celebrity guests taking the field, supporting Rugby for Heroes and Sports Trader. The tickets are now on sale, priced £10 for adults, £5 for under 16s and £1 for under 12s. To get tickets, go to tickets.millwallfc.co.uk. I'll say that again, it's tickets.millwallfc.co.uk and select that event. You heard from our sponsored Lionesses earlier, Jade Keogh and Grace Seeley, at the beginning of the show. So why not sponsor a Lions kit like us to help get them back to where they belong? And as an organisation, you can get fantastic exposure for your opportunities through your business as well, on top of seeing your name on the club website. You will be able to enjoy a range of benefits: signed shirt, meet your sponsored player, 3 invitations to a VIP sponsor day, a free season ticket to all home games, website message on millwallfc.co.uk and a presentation photo. Kit sponsorship is priced at £160 plus VAT. To purchase, get in touch with the Lionesses by calling Kay Webster at millwallcommunity.org.uk. Don't forget, you'll be able to listen to the No One Likes Us Talking team bring reports from our games both home and away for both the Lions and the Lionesses, and also updates on Millwall community matters too. This can be found on Maritime Radio, broadcasting on 96.5 FM. Additionally, links to us are on our Instagram, Facebook and Twitter social media sites, and all popular podcast sites too. That's it from me. Thanks again, Debbie, Stan and Dave. Finally, let's not forget to keep it safe on the streets out there. Good night. And I believe that draw has been
good. But no, I mean, I think we're